Hey everybody, it's Alex here at Swash Drawings. Today we're going to be making a video of somebody protecting our friend Micah from the last video by deflecting a bullet with a sword. We'll start off using a really light 4H pencil to just block out the basic shapes of where we want the characters to sit, and then going back with a 2H pencil to use some darker lines to block out the limbs, torso, and pelvis of the swordie, also getting a general idea of how his longer hair is going to flow in midair as well. Micah on the left is just standing upright, but the sword guy's body is in a pretty strange position. He's in midair and he's twisting his body to swipe the sword in an arc. I'm trying to think of it like those wooden artist mannequins you see at stores, so we have the torso and pelvis as separate sections, and then the limbs coming off that in all different positions. I'm actually going in a third time with an HB pencil that's like hard slash bold, it's right in the middle, adding another layer of even more specific guidelines, laying on some of the clothes, hair, and accessories over the shapes of the body for when I go back with a pen. At this point I've already decided that I want to do the work of adding the bullet and the swiping effect digitally so I can work out the positions in a separate layer over the bodies, so we're going to quickly finish off these two characters. So Micah on the left is being shot at by some enemy. I'm going for a pretty surprised face and posture because he's like a civilian, so we have him lifting his arms up a bit and adding a face that's got widened eyes and an open mouth for expression. I'm going to go ahead and jump in already with a 0.35mm pen to finish the lines off. The two characters are pretty close to each other, but not quite close enough to the frame that I'm working with a lot of perspective, so I'm only using one thickness of line here. We're about to transition into working digitally for the option of having layers, but I generally like to get the forms of the body down on paper. It's weird, but you get a lot more information going from your hand to your brain just from the friction of the pencil on the paper, much more than from a glass tablet screen. So let's go ahead and scan this just with the Google Photo Scan app on my phone. I'm pretty happy with how the swordie turned out, but Micah is looking a little wonky, so let's make some adjustments. You can see in this overlay that I basically selected Micah's whole body under his head and skewed it to the right a bit to get him standing perfectly straight. I also adjusted the position of the swordie's left arm and cleaned up the lines for both of them. Taking away the overlay, you can also see that I adjusted Micah's hands to give them just a little more of a surprised reaction, and with that, the two character models are basically done and we can move on to the rest of the composition. The first thing we're adding is the finishing touches for the swordie. We'll add some details to the handle of the sword and lock in the position of the swiping motion. We're also going to add some accessories, giving him a sheath to put the sword in, and adding his armbands and athletic tape that he uses in battle. Next we'll add the bullet and some background effects. For the bullet I drew perspective lines to show how it moves from the camera back towards Micah, and then just put down some black lines and used the smudge tool to give it a blurred, fast-moving effect. For the action lines, I don't think I need to reinvent the wheel here and draw 1,000 lines, so I just hopped on speedlinegenerator.com and generated some action lines for this image and then adjusted the opacity on my tablet. And with that, we're looking at the final version here. The idea is that basically this is going to be a larger full-page panel in a graphic novel I'm working on, and I think it's definitely going to work for that. It's looking pretty cool. I think we've captured both the shock that Micah is feeling and the almost effortless feel to the swordie handling the bullet. I'm pretty satisfied. So that's it for today. I want to give a shout out. This is Tea by Cold Ice that you're hearing, and as always, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, follow the page, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.